Hey, Taylor Rapp here from the LA Rams. Shout out to Steve Taylor, the real sports guy, and the honorary Ram. When Steve's talks sports, you better listen. Thanks, Steve from the Rams, for your continued support and love. We are taking it all the way this year.
With Prince Bell, we rocking with keeping it real sports, and we gonna be on this. We gonna be on a lot of times. I love the platform. Check in, it's the new wave. Like, follow, subscribe, and do all that good stuff.
Come on. I told you I got you. Wanna talk about his game, he can talk about it. Tennis, match, golf, he can talk about it. Don't matter what it is, he can talk about it. Any sport dude, he know about it. Save your boy bum, don't doubt it. If he tell you that it is what it is. The real sports guy in the Sandman. Talk show game in the bag, man. Rep, gon' have to throw the flag, man. Steve Taylor, Andy Sands. It's over, OVA. Game over, they don't play. From the fourth quarter to the ninth inning. NASCAR wheels keep spinning. To the 18th hole, he's still in control. Guy on the go. Coach never missing the play, cause he know the deal. This keeping it real. Sports. Come on. Keeping it real. Yeah. Let's go.
All-Star Weekend, man, what a great weekend. We got hockey All-Stars. We got the NFL All-Stars. We at the midway point, man, and we're going to break down hockey. It's the hockey show. We had to go for the big wigs. We had to go for the boys of the Kraken. We had to bring in our boy Jeff to break down the first half of the season. Man, we got so much more to talk about. We got Super Bowl. We got so much more. I'm the real sports guy, Steve Taylor. He's the Sandman, Andy Sands. What's going on, brother?
Steve Taylor, what a great way to start today's show. Let me just tell you, man. You're looking dapper today, by the way. I didn't get the memo that we weren't wearing our shirts.
Hey, man, see, you know, when I can do what I can do, I just try to do it. That's all.
Hey, I'm all for it. Let's go. We got a big story for Hot Off the Presses Day.
Oh, man, yeah, we got so much to go to get into, so let's do it. Hot off the press.
Well, surprise or to no one's surprise, Kyrie Irving has requested a trade from the Brooklyn Nets. Now, it's a little bit of a surprise considering where they're at in the standings, Steve, but Kevin Durant hasn't been playing for 11 games, so Kyrie's bored and he wants out of Brooklyn.
See, once again, you're right, but you're just not as right as me because, once again, I did my homework. Now, let me tell you what's really going on, and we're going to keep it totally real. Look, Kyrie Irving has sought a long-term extension contract. When he settled for the 1 year way back in the summer, he's been seeking a long-term contract. Brooklyn has been hesitant to give him that long-term contract. So what he's actually doing, Andy, is he's giving Brooklyn a solid. He's telling them, look, trade me now where you can get something, or else I'm going to walk in the summertime. This is what's happening. So he's giving them a solid, man. It's not Kyrie being Kyrie. It's Kyrie kind of giving them a solid, man. You just got to look at what the real, man. We keeping it real here, bro. That's what we do.
Real quick, I know we got a big show, but where do you think he goes if they decide to trade him? Because they don't have
to
trade
him. Dude, it's got LA written all over it, man. Stop.
Which LA?
It's only one LA, man. What are you talking about, man? We talking about the Lakers and the Clippers, man. We
talking about somebody going to the Clippers or the Lakers?
LA. The Lakers.
Okay, all right, there we go.
There's only one LA. The Clippers they're the basement team. I didn't say he's going to the basement. He's moving on up.
All right. Kyrie and LeBron reuniting again. Let's see if it happens.
Yeah, reunited, and it feels so good.
You know what else feels good? Let's hit some quick hitters.
Quick hitters.
All right, partner, start us off. Where are we going first?
Man, where we got to go, man, where we ended up last week, man, where we kind of told you, man, the Australian finals where the Joker, man, has done it for the 22nd time, man. He's done 10 of these things, man, and just rename the damn trophy, man, the Djokovic Open. Let's just rename it.
Yeah, I mean, this is his tournament, right? He just doesn't lose down under. And I think he'd have 23 if all the fiasco with the visa and the COVID stuff last year wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
But, either way, almost half of his titles are in Australia.
So what you got, buddy?
Melancholy quick hitter. Bobby Hall, we lost a great one. Passed away on Monday. Just an outstanding human being, hockey icon, obviously in the Hall of Fame. Will be sorely missed for sure.
Yeah. Hey, by the way. By the way. It's All-Star Weekend, man. And when you start with All-Star Weekend, man, you got to go to the NFL. I don't care what you said. I know they call it flag football. It's football, man. Turn the damn games on and quit crying. It's football. I can't wait. Yeah, I'm going to watch it. You're going to ask me, am I going to watch this? Of course, it's football.
You're going to watch a professional game of flag football as your entertainment for
I'm going to tell you what I ain't going to watch, though. I'm going to tell you what I ain't going to watch.
Yeah, well, I'll be watching this today.
Yeah.
So there you
That's
go.
what I'm not going to watch. I'm
All
not
right.
going to watch, man, 3-on-3 hockey. No, man. Man, what is this, the big three?
Listen, if you
I'm sure Jeff's going to have a lot to say about that. But damn, I mean, come on, this is hockey. I want my hockey, man, at full strength. I don't want no 3-on-3. Next, what, they're going to play 1-on-1? Well, they kind of did that last night, didn't they?
Well, the skills contest was last night. There was some entertaining bits, but there were also some ones that I probably would have gone away from as well. But Elias Pettersson wins the hardest shot, and Brock Nelson of the New York Islanders wins the accuracy contest.
Who'd he beat?
He beat Connor McDavid.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of the New York Islanders, let's bring in the number one Islander fan and welcome back our good friend Jeff Kuntz to the show.
Yeah, thanks,
sir.
Thank you for having me back. I got to give you guys props for that new rap song intro you guys added from this season. I love it. It's great.
Oh, glad to hear it. It's good to have you back.
It's been a while since you've been on now.
Yeah, it has.
It's been quite a while, but your Islanders made a splash this week. We're going to get into that in a little bit. But, Steve, we got a really special guest first, and we're going to hit it between the circles because I had a chance to catch up with a good friend of mine who I've known for 20 years, and he is the studio host of the Seattle Kraken Audio Network. His name is Mike Benton.
Wait, and the division leading Seattle.
That's right. Oh, we talk about that, though. A very special edition of Between the Circles this week on Keeping It Real Sports. I'm the Sandman, Andy Sanzada. Pleased to be joined by one of the voices of the Seattle Kraken in the NHL, a very good friend of mine. We're like brothers. It's Mike Benton. Mike, thanks so much for joining the show this week.
Great to be here. Just like old times, my man. How you doing?
Yeah, doing wonderful. I appreciate you stopping in on the All-Star break. It's been quite the season for you guys so far. This is your home, away from home in the studio, on the road. But speaking of being on the road, you guys are one of the best road teams in the NHL, 16-5-2 away from home. What do you think has been the key to the road success so far?
Well, first things first, I can certainly say it is not the environment in which I am sitting. I'm only a mere contributor here to the on-air success and never the on-ice success as well. But I appreciate you bringing that piece of beauty work up there. And as far as the Kraken and their road success, it really is amazing. But I can really, I think, put my finger on one thing. They do a tremendous job of playing simple road hockey when it is necessary. And we were talking for a long, long time of why is the road record much better than the home record? Because they had some problems getting off to good starts on home ice, but we recently found in, this recent homestand heading into the bye week and the All-Star break, they took a similar game from the road and put it in their own home environment. They're a speed game, or they play a speed game, they play a transition game, but yet they are able to work within the traditional contemporary boundaries of a road game to be successful. When they have to play beneath the dots, They are a good forward-checking team, and when they stick to basic principles and limit mistakes, they play great hockey, and they have done that for much of this season. I go back and think of when they beat the Boston Bruins earlier this year. Boston had never lost on home ice in regulation this year. They hadn't done it in 9 months. We're all thinking they may never lose a home game, period, in regulation. It was that daunting. The Kraken came as close to pitching a perfect game that night if they didn't pitch a perfect game. Nearly every element of their game was flawless. They kept their play simple. They didn't take shortcuts, and they were able to use that and then generate their speed game and help that fuel their transition game on top of that. But yet they didn't force their offense. They found it at the right time, and their goaltending was lights out. Their defense, while allowing a few chances. I remember, I think David Pastrnak had a breakaway in that game. They were solid. That's a big reason why many were thinking in the hockey world that 7-game trip could break the Kraken, where they had to then play 15 games in 28 days, and the Kraken came out of that 15-game stretch 11 wins in total. By this season, you are who you are, and we've learned now heading into the All-Star break, the Kraken are a playoff team. They are a division title contender.
Yeah, well, you and I were talking before we came on here. We didn't think that they were going to be this good this soon, right? I mean, 63 points, first place in the Pacific. The reason you guys are ahead of the Kings is because you have 4 games in hand. But can they keep this up, Mike? Can they continue to be this successful and make the playoffs? Because that's what not just Kraken fans want to know, but everybody else in the NHL wants to know as well, because this is going to be a tight race all the way to the end, just like it is every year, especially in the Western Conference.
Yeah. I think they're certainly fair questions, and we were asking these same kind of questions, or at least hearing them across the hockey world, even going back all the way into October. Then it led into, okay, great, you had a great start. Now, can you keep it up as this season gets deeper? Okay, you passed that test. Now, can you pass the 7-game road trip after New Year's Day? They aced the whole thing with flying colors. Okay, can you pass the 4-week period where you're playing basically 4 games a week? They got 11 wins out of the deal. So now comes this next step out of the All-Star break and out of the bye week. Can they maintain that same level of consistency after a 9-day layoff? I would contend it's going to help them. They have been nursing injuries upon injuries recently in these last 2 weeks. More recently, Matty Beniers, you get a look right there. That was potentially a big loss after he took a blind hit, an excessive hit from defenseman Tyler Myers of the Vancouver Canucks, and then was knocked out for the last of the homestand. Myers, aside from a 2-minute interference penalty, faced no discipline, and that leaving a big gaping hole right in the middle of their lineup. Potentially also Yanni Gore, but he also came back after a couple of shifts following he took a slap shot off the knee, which could have been ultimately disastrous. So I think in a roundabout way, where I look at this Kraken team getting deeper and deeper into the year, not just for their improved play, not just for their improved pieces they've added up front, but they're a team built on depth, and that depth is their strength. They're not a one-line team. They're not going to Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl you to death. They're more or less a 4-line monster here. They've got a 4th-line guy in Daniel Sprong, who I should add as well, wasn't even included in their mix heading into training camp, period, at all. Was in training camp on a PTO deal. Daniel Sprong impressed them so much, signed a 1-year deal at league minimum, and is now on pace for a 30-goal season, a 4th liner on pace for 30 goals. It's almost unheard of. There are 12 players right now tracking for over 40 points on this team. Andre Burakovsky could get to 20 goals. He'll easily get to maybe a point per game. Matty Beniers could get to 60 points. For a 20-year-old rookie in this game, that is very hard. Jordan Eberle will probably get to 20 goals. Jared McCann could get to 40 and was trying to find a home for years with Toronto, Vancouver, Pittsburgh, but just was playing behind way too many good players. Daniel Sprong, as I said, could probably get there. Jaden Schwartz, presuming that he's healthy. Ryan Donato as well, who's been scratched a few times this year as a healthy, could get to 20 goals still. So the more we're seeing this lineup healthy, the more and more we're seeing this depth around end form, it's a very, very hard out to face come playoff time. Now, who they match up, different question, different conversation. But Andy, you were getting back to it. I mean, a lot of us were thinking at the beginning of this season, training camp, if they can just be in the playoff conversation, they're going to be in business. But to see them right now, tied for first place, heading into the All-Star break, it's mind-blowing.
Mike, we really appreciate your time. Best of luck in the second half of the season, continued success. And I'm sure we'll do this again when it's all said and done. And we'll have to have you on if you guys make the playoffs. We'll have to find a way to make that happen for sure. But we appreciate you joining us here this week.
I'm warming the fastball up, my friend. Hey, this was great. Just like old times, you and me in the ECHL days. And you're one of the friends that I can count on here to, talk career advice stuff, life advice stuff. This never, ever gets old, buddy. Thanks so much.
All right, that's Mike Benton, one of the voices of the Seattle Kraken on their audio network. We'll be back with more Keeping It Real Sports. So there you go. Mike and I met at broadcasting camp, actually, in 2001, and we've stayed in touch ever since. And I couldn't be happier for him and getting an opportunity to be in the NHL. Very, very honored to be able to say I'm his friend.
Oh, absolutely. Great job. But Jeff, we got the J man in the house, man, to break down, man, the NHL season and what he saw. And look, man, you got to be excited about your Islanders, man. I mean, man, one of the fastest skating teams, man, in the league, if not the fastest, man. They're up and rising, man. Tell us about the Islanders, man.
Well, I'm more excited now that we've acquired in this trade Bo Horvat from the Vancouver Canucks in exchange for Anthony Beauvillier, Atu Ratu, and don't believe your lying eyes, it is not Ratty, it is Atu Ratu, and a conditional 2023 or 2024 first-round draft choice. Now, Horvat is a former ninth overall pick, first round to the Canucks in 2013. He's a goal scorer, and this team is built to wear you down either with speed and hitting in a 7-game playoff series, but the problem is they've got to get to the playoffs first, and right now we sit 5 points out from the playoffs. If you look at the Washington Capitals, they're probably the easiest team for us to catch. So this move was made for a couple of different reasons, primarily I think to get a goal scorer for one Mr. Matt Barzal. Now, Mike Benton just mentioned that Matty Beniers has 60 points as a 20-year-old rookie. Barzal had 85 in his rookie season as a 19 and 20-year-old. So there's a lot of talent in Matt Barzal, but the challenge has always been to get him a scoring winger, and we've never been able to do it. Now, Horvat is actually a center like Barzal is, so I'm hoping and I'm thinking the plan is going to be to put Barzal on the wing and Horvat at center, and that'll be our top line. And wow, that could be very exciting for us for the rest of the season. We have 30 games to go. If we win our game in hand that we have over the Washington Capitals, we're only 3 points back. So I like the move by Lou Lamoriello.
Well, speaking of Lou Lamoriello, Jeff, you and I were talking earlier this week that this is a big risk because Horvat is not signed to a long-term extension, and he has also said he's not sure he will sign a long-term extension. So is he putting all his chips on this one trade to get to the playoffs because this is his third year with the franchise and he has yet to make the playoffs under his regime since firing Barry Trotz?
Well, he has traded our last 4 first-round picks. Now, the first one was for J.G. Pajot from the Ottawa Senators. He immediately signed a contract extension. The next year, Kyle Palmieri, and for Zajac. But Palmieri signed a contract extension right away. Then this past summer, he traded our first to the Montreal Canadiens for Romanov, a defenseman, a young guy. He's an RFA, so we had his rights. He signed a contract extension, but point is we owned his rights anyway. And now, like you said, this Horvat deal, hey, he's going to come in and he's either going to sign, or if he doesn't sign, we have the opportunity to flip him at the deadline, but I don't see that happening. I think he's going to be an Islander, and I think Lou's going to get it done. There have been some insiders who were caught off guard by this trade, but each and every one of them, to a person, has said that that Lou would not have done this deal unless he had some pretty good insight from the agent as to what it would take to get a deal done.
I mean, he's won Stanley Cups. He knows what he's doing. I think you can trust Lou Lamoriello in his decision-making
But
skills.
he is 80. He is 80, and he wants one more. He wants one more sip of that cup. He wants one more sip of that from that Stanley Cup.
real quick before we let you out, give me, man, one bold prediction, man, because the one thing that you got to look at, man, you got to be impressed with what the Bruins have done, man. To me, they've got to be the most impressive team, man, throughout the first half of the season. But give me one bold prediction for the second half of this NHL season.
Thanks to Ilya Sorokin, this guy right here of the New York Islanders, we will be the 8th place team in the playoffs, and we will knock off the Bruins in the first round.
Whoa! Whoa!
We beat them in the playoffs 2 or 3 years ago. We beat them in the playoffs. Don't forget that. 2 years ago, we beat them in the playoffs.
Okay. I asked for a bowl, didn't I?
You asked for a bowl, but in all seriousness, Jeff, they didn't have the goaltending that they have now. So good luck with that. But
we didn't have the goaltending that we have now either. Actually, we did. We had the tandem. Never mind, we did have the goaltending. But we have a better top 4 defense now.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Very true. Hey, we appreciate you jumping in as always, partner. And
Yes,
we're going to have you back before the season's over, so stay tuned.
Hey, enjoy the All-Star game. Before I go, I do agree with Steve on one thing. Can this be a one and done for the Tendy tandem?
You didn't like the Tendy tandem?
I did not like the Tendy tandem. They managed to take 2 rare and heart-stopping plays and combine them into one competition, and it sucked.
Thank you.
See, I told you two would get along from day one.
Enjoy the Pro Bowl. Enjoy the Pro Bowl.
All right, brother. All right, let's get into it. Storyline.
All right, Steve, we got to start with the story this week, right? I mean,
Yes, sir.
he finally made a decision, and I truly believe it's it. This is it. He's not messing around this time. And an end of an era, as you said on the graphic. It's over.
It's OVA. Time rides up into the sunset, man. Man, this was just one flip of the switch at Giselle because he knew that thing was over, okay? And by the way, have you seen Giselle lately? Have you seen some of the photos that she's been taking here lately? I'm just saying, she's a mom. She's a nice-looking mom, but she's still a mom. I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, that brings us to a really good debate, which we don't have a lot of time for, but we can start it this week at least. For Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks, give me your 4 and I'll give you mine.
Dude, it's a no-brainer with the guy that just walked off into the sunset, Tom Brady, Joe Montana, okay? You got to have, man, the new breed right now, man, because he's earned his way in there. My homeboy, Patrick Mahomes. And, of course, Johnny Unitas. So if you notice, one from every era, Johnny Unitas, Joe Montana, Tom Brady, and the new breed, the 4th horseman, if you will, Patrick Mahomes.
All right. Mine would be Brady, Montana, Manning, Elway. Those are my 4.
Yeah. Okay. We'll talk about that.
All right. Speaking of Elway, hey, he did something right. He went out and traded for a head coach.
It's the group, man. It is the Denver Bronco new ownership group that is led by Condoleezza Rice and company. Yes, they are ballers, and they went out and got the biggest fish in the pond. Sean Payton landed him. Got him. But I tell you what, man, the one thing that's gone under the radar is DeMeco Ryans. He went back home to the Texans. And I tell you what, that team is not far. And when he put his prints on that, oh my goodness. Welcome back, DeMeco Ryans. And then the one that we're looking at is Raheem Morris. He's a coaching candidate for the Colts. He's been called back for a second interview. Looking at it, dude, make up your mind because I need to hire a defensive coordinator. I'm just saying.
I really like the DeMeco Ryans hire. I'm with you on that. And they have 4 first-round picks, so you're right. They may not be that far off. But another one that went under the radar was this. Bye, Dallas. Hello, Justin Herbert. I'm done with Dak. I'm going to go work with a quarterback that I can trust. I like this move for the Chargers, and I like the move for Kellen Moore.
Okay, and that's real cute how you put that in there underlying. But see, what I'm looking at is the bigger damn picture. It's the fallout in Big D in Dallas. After that, y'all getting rid of all the damn coordinators that was actually had their units competing at a high level. Let's go back and look at Kellen Moore's numbers. Kellen Moore, for the last 5 years, has had the number 2 ranked offense in the NFL behind who? Only behind Eric Public Bieniemy and the Kansas City Chiefs, and you fire him? Well, it wasn't his fault. It was give it back Dak. It's his problem. Y'all, now you're gonna give it to Drop the Mic. So Drop the Mic gonna call plays now. Okay, say that out loud. What happened the last time you called plays? Oh, let me help you. Your ass got fired. I'm just saying.
All right. Well, we've had such a big show. We haven't even talked about how the Super Bowl got set up. So let's get into it. NFC. Brock Purdy's injury had a lot to do with the score.
Yeah, man,
but I don't know that it would have made a difference, Steve. I think.
Stop. No, man. Look here. Because if if it was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. But the whole thing is, man, the San Francisco coaches have to understand when to throw the damn challenge flag. Call a damn timeout, you get a timeout back at least. Because if you look at that, man, the kid, Smith didn't make the touchdown. There you go, and the whole game changes right there. So that's where the game changed at. All right.
Well, it was hard to watch. Two quarterbacks, not just one, but two, got hurt in that game for San Francisco. They were at a point where only Christian McCaffrey could call plays. That was hard to watch as a 49ers fan, if you were a 49ers fan. I'm not one, obviously. But, all right, AFC, a lot of controversy this week, Steve. A lot of controversy. However, I'm looking past that. I'm looking at the fact that this was a career-defining game for one Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, my homeboy, man, showed up and he showed out. Here's the whole thing, man, because he know, man, if he don't make that play, Joe Burrow was about to happen, man. If they don't get that 15-yard penalty, Joe Burrow was about to happen, and you understand that. Okay, I don't say what y'all say, and I understand my homeboy even being on the Mount Rushmore quarterbacks, man, but Joe Burrow is the man that I fear most. I don't want that man with the ball in his hands, man, at the end of the game. I don't want him because good things always seem to happen for them and not you.
And that brings us to a first in Super Bowl history. Okay?
Yeah, I'm sure we'll talk more about it next week. Yeah. The Kelsey Bowl is what it is.
Guess where they're from?
Cleveland.
Mama
got a hell of a, but Mama's got that figured out. Mama got that thing figured out.
That jersey.
I'm gonna put everybody's jersey on. I got both of my boys. Mama got it figured out.
Hey, Mama.
I'm gonna tell you what they need to figure out.
Mama's winning the Super Bowl no matter what happens.
Yeah, so Mama got it figured out. But I tell you what, Kansas City need to figure out. They need to figure out who's going to catch the damn ball. Because
this is a big concern, Steve.
Tony is out. McCole Hartman is questionable. He's trending toward being able to play in the game. Man, it's the biggest damn game of your life. Get your ass out there and play the game.
Yeah, well, that's why they went and got Juju Smith-Schuster. At least they've got him healthy and ready to go. So that sets this up. Eagles, Chiefs. We're not predicting this until next week.
Nope. We'll talk about that more next week, man. Week.
Super Bowl themed show. All right, It's time to get into that NBA update, if you would, please, sir. All right, running on a show. Really, the only thing to talk about is these guys. They're reminding people who they are this week, Steve. And I would not want to play Milwaukee right now. They are finding their groove. They are getting healthy at the right time. Going into the All-Star break in the next couple weeks, they're going to remain even healthier. And Giannis is bringing himself back into the MVP conversation with the way he's been playing over the last 2 weeks.
When has he ever left?
I mean, he hasn't, but, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know.
You and I know that.
50. He dropped 50 to win, come from behind. That's what he do. That's what he do.
That's what he does.
That's what he do.
That's exactly right.
That's what he do. Real quick, let's look at, because we had major shakeup last week. Man, let's run through it real quick.
All right, here we go. Number 5, Alabama.
Man, they got mollywopped the other night, got ambushed, man, but man, they're just too talented not to fall too far back, man. We got them number 5.
Number 4, we got Arizona moving up one spot.
And they're starting to come up, and here they come. Look out for the Cats.
3, Tennessee. Only 4 losses, but look at who they've played, Steve. This is a very good team. One of the best defensive teams in the country.
Andy, you know, man, I respectfully disagree, man, with you, man, with your sentiment on the Big Ten being the best conference, man, in college basketball. I'm sorry, bro. Man, it's that damn SEC.
All right, you're allowed to disagree with me. That's what this show's all about. All right, Houston doing what they do, Steve, staying at number 2.
Man, hey, man, them Cougars, man, they still get up and they get after you, man. But you know what, man? Number one, man, hey, man, when you just steady, it ain't pretty, it ain't flashy, but they just get it done, man. That's a typo there. It should be 21-1. They've only lost one game. But, man, Purdue, they keep getting it done, man.
Can anybody beat the Boilermakers? We're gonna find out in the next couple weeks. And before we go, we got one last thing, Steve. If you had $100,000, would you go to a Laker game to watch LeBron break the record?
I'm going to say hell no. Hell
no for me, too. That has nothing to do with LeBron. I'm not paying that much money for any game ever, even the Super Bowl.
Man, I need my bread, all of it. I need all of that, man. Plus, I'm going to get a better seat at home. Just saying.
Yeah, there you go. All right.
Hey,
so
man, special shout out, man, to Benton and Kuntz, man, for coming on, man. Hey, man, keeping it real, man. Hey, man, this is what we do, man. Hey, man, we got to run. It's been fun, but we got to run until next week.
We wish you love.
And peace, man. Chuck them deuces. We'll see you later.